A new billion-dollar pipeline could be needed in the next several years so the Canadian River Municipal Water Authority can keep up with the water demands of its 11 member cities. That's according to a preliminary regional water plan projecting supply and demand over the next 50 years.
And that's about a 70-mile pipeline. It's going to be an expensive pipeline when it's done. We're also looking at the possibility of adding additional terminal storage. We have large terminal storage reservoirs in Amarillo, Lubbock, Borger right now, but adding to that capacity could help with redundancy in our system.
Redundancy in a system refers to components or processes that would provide backup options in case of failure. Amarillo, Lubbock, and 9 smaller cities in the region rely on water delivered by the authority, commonly referred to as CRMWA.
A pipeline right now, we're talking $800 million to $1.2 billion for a 70-mile pipeline to get from the well field to Amarillo. So we have kind of 2 branches of our system when you come from the lake. We have our East Aqueduct, which takes water to Borger and Pampa, and then we have our main that goes to Amarillo and then hits the other 8 cities to the south of that.
Satterwhite said CRMWA and its member cities have been discussing a potential CRMWA 2 project for a decade.
You know, the regional water planning, the state water planning process is a great process, but we are also doing our own planning in addition to that. And whatever the costs are in there, I mean, those are great ballpark estimates, but costs are changing rapidly right now with construction. I mean, the CRMWA 2, when we first began talking about this back in 2012-14 timeframe, it's over tripled in cost.
For more than 20 years, the bulk of water CRMWA sends has been groundwater from the Ogallala Aquifer system, not water from Lake Meredith. In fact, severe drought in the early 2010s made lake quality so salty that CRMWA relied solely on the groundwater well field for 2 years. Satterwhite said a steep decline in water inflow to the lake has only intensified the problem. Today, the authority delivers a blend of about 75% groundwater and 25% lake water.
Well, if we did not have the lake right now, that 25%, we would likely need to do something else to supplement that. So it's still a critical part of our water supply, but it's certainly not the primary driver anymore.
The primary driver now is the well field, but since it was built as a supplement, its pipeline wasn't sized to carry more than 65 million gallons of water a day. And that's how much CRMWA sends currently to member cities daily on average. Any amount above that has to come from the lake. This summer, peak delivery reached 88 million gallons.
Right now we are limited with our groundwater supply. Our pipeline coming from the well field is 65 million gallons a day max capacity. So in the summertime, we are running that thing full throttle and blending whatever we can with the lake, you know, water quality dictating that blend. And so that's really what drives what we're able to provide during a peak day. I think it'd be a stretch to say that anybody envisioned that being 100% of our water supply for 2 years, which it was, and I believe it was 12 and 13, 100% of our water supply. That wasn't on anybody's bingo card at the time. We saw the water quality, you know, gradually declining in the lake, and so built that to supplement it. And you know, I'm sure they wish they would have built a 100-inch pipeline at the time, but you don't know what you don't know.
Satterwhite said the new pipeline would bypass the original lake transmission line and tie in elsewhere to the main system. Besides increasing supply, the new line would also solve some reliability issues with buried 60-year-old pipe subjected to the pressures of pumping.
Generally speaking, where you have issues with the pipe, they tend to pop up in the areas that are under higher pressure. So that would, you know, one, it would shore up supply as far as, you know, drought proofing the supply, if you will. It would bypass a significant portion of the older pipeline.
CRMWA would be left with about 20 miles of what Satterwhite called less desirable pipe, but the water flows through that stretch by gravity, not pumping pressure.
And so, you know, there's a reliability concern there. Our pipeline's now 60 years old. You know, our pipeline system, over 400 miles of it, and all it takes is one joint, and you're not delivering water anymore. Unlike, you know, a lot of cities that have loop systems, they can maybe valve off a block, and we can't do that. We have one artery going to every city.
Additional terminal storage reservoirs could provide water for cities while a repair is being made. The authority also is considering aquifer storage and recovery, which could mean producing water that cities could then bank underground through an injection well.
What that would enable us to do is, you know, During the wintertime when they don't need the water, there's no demand for it, we could continue sending it and they can essentially stick it underground and protect it from evaporation and then pull that out in times of need, whether that's a pipeline leak that we have and they don't have any local supplies to prop them up for a period of time where we can fix it.
Like other well owners across the region, the authority is seeing declines in the amount of water its wells can produce from the Ogallala aquifer system. The aquifer system is the area's primary source of water, and it is declining.
The water table is declining, therefore the productivity of your wells are declining, therefore you need more wells to produce the same volume of water. And when CRMWA 2 is ultimately constructed, there will be additional wells added.
The preliminary regional water plan estimates CRMWA 2 could be operating by 2040. Panhandle PBS continues to cover issues related to water in our region, so subscribe to this YouTube channel for more.
At Panhandle PBS, our reliable news reporting and fact-based storytelling has always been free. We're proud to offer our work for free thanks to generous support of viewers like you. If you appreciate our journalism and would like to see it continue, please consider making a donation to Panhandle PBS today.